Yeah! Hello and welcome to this cast 2v2 game. We've got two players against two other players, hence 2v2. I'm impartial, so I'm not counted in. I'm just going to start again. Hello and welcome to this cast 2v2 game between Team Felkos and MORGG playing 11 Easy and Berlin Command, NATO. And they're up against Krepp and Helljumper, who we know very well. The French brothers duo, playing as PACT, playing as 39Y and 76Y. We're on Old Vertigo, or Team Vertigo. So essentially, there's a massive zone here, there's a massive zone here, and then if you break through, there are some big zones at the back, but it's quite rare to break through. Most of the fighting takes place around these two zones. So let's have a look at the deployments. In the blue corner, we've got MORGG on the left with his Berlin Command. He's opened 6 Gazelle rockets, which I don't agree with, because you want to save these for infiltration, for enemy infiltration, stuff like that. Somebody comes over here, you can blow them up with your Gazelle rockets. You can occasionally send them forwards, get some kills, and pull them back. Then again, in a 2v2, you can expect AA to basically be all over here, so you kind of, I guess it makes sense to bring him at the start, perhaps. He sent a SEK forwards. This is 40-man recon with a sniper. But actually, it's a DMR, so it's only got 50 suppression instead of 150. The game doesn't differentiate, it just says sniper. And yeah, it's 40 points with very good optics, so he sent this forwards to here, and then he sent the vehicle even further forwards to here, because the vehicle actually has good optics as well, and because it has the security trait, when it stood still, it gets very good optics, which is really not bad for a 25-point vehicle. So this is a very good recon combo. He is playing it quite defensively there. And behind that, he's got, we already spoke about the Gazelle rockets, he's got 2 Engineers Dragon. These are a lot more expensive than they used to be, and the Dragons got nerfed in their range, but still decent 10-man squad for holding ground. 2 Stingers, 3 Rover Milans, a Tarask, and a P4PC. So he's not sending anybody over here, which is a big shame, because owning this is key to owning the zone, because if you own this, for example, you cut the entire enemy's reinforcement. And if the enemy owns this, then he could see everybody in your zone unless you're hidden in this little forest here. So I'm surprised by that. So those are all MORGG's units. Looking at xFelkos here. He's got a Fox and a Saggy Recon going for mid. And Paras Marine, Para Milan 2, Para SAS going to here. So basically, yes, okay. I was going to say, basically, this side has this advantage where this house can shoot these reinforcements coming down here, whereas this house can't do it to the other side. So you always want an ATGM around here. So he's got the P4 Milan, which he sent to here. I would prefer to hide it in this tree, or even this tree. But preferably this tree, because you want to max out your ATGM range so that you don't get blown up. So this is a great place for it. Whereas if you're here, enemy tank guns and stuff can shoot you. So that's that. But yeah, it makes sense for him to be going for this middle point because his teammate doesn't have forward deploy, doesn't have airborne forward deploy. And he's also sending a big contingent to the town, consisting of Paras Marine. These guys are really, really, really strong now because they got a DMR as well. I speak a lot about this, but basically DMRs output over 500 suppression a minute, which is 3 times more than a machine gun, over 3 times more than a machine gun, because it's actually more closer to 600. And the higher the veterancy, the better it's doing, and these Paras SAS come at a very high veterancy anyway. So it's really, really strong, whereas the Legionnaire Paras, which cost 5 points more, don't have the DMR. They do get resolute trait, which means they resist suppression more. But actually, right now, the Paras Marine are stronger because the DMR is so strong and they're cheaper. So you want to be spamming out the Paras Marine as much as possible. But the Legionnaire Paras, you can bring them at max vet, which does make them good. So you still need those as well. But I think the Paras Marine are a bit stronger right now. Pirate Eclairs, this is just a recon going to there. I'm surprised he's not going in deeper, but he clearly intends to go for the zone. And Paras SS going to here, which is quite conservative, given that they've got close range satchels and smoke. You'd really want him over here. But I guess he understands that his push is actually going to be quite weak because he sent so many forces to mid. Switching to their opponent's deployment. My money's on red this game, simply because these guys have half grads on 76Y, and 39Y can bring full grads, just regular grads. So what you typically do is one guy buys a fob, and then you just get the grads shooting everything, and then you grad this, you grad this. If the enemy owns this, you grad all this, but if you own it, you can literally just grad this constantly, and then the enemy's forced out the zone. So it's all about that MLRS, but we don't see a fob here. That doesn't mean they can't MLRS spam. Just means they'll need more supply cards. So we've got full airborne deployment here from Helljumper. He is sending 3 units mid, so Desant Niki Metis. The Metis similarly has had its range reduced. Spetsgrupper A, which are really, really strong because they're special forces. They get the RPG, they get the satchels. Look at the pen on the RPG. It's like an Apolas, but it's got way less range. But they've got the satchels as well, and they're special forces, so they're very, very strong unit. And he's got 2 of them going there. And the Razvedka BMD3 backing it up. That'll be coming around to here. I guess he's gone for that because then it can shoot ATGMs down here. But if the enemy uses this road, I think by the time the ATGM reaches him, he will have just gone out of LOS there. So as long as the enemy doesn't panic, I think he'll be alright. Krepp is also supplying 1 Mi-8T rocket, so they really want that. And Krepp has bought an Su-27S, but we didn't finish this deployment, so we've got the Sus. This is the best 50 cal in the game, because it can also shoot helicopters, because it's on a super special tripod, which I guess we probably can't see right now. We'll be able to see it when it comes out of the car. Yeah, sadly we can't see it. It looks really funny. But they're really slow. This is 9 kilometers an hour, whereas say this Conkers is 18 and regular infantry is 24. So they are very slow. They're as slow as a Toad unit, despite the fact that they can go in buildings. Desant Niki Metis going to here. Spetsgrupper A. And then 2 Desant Spets Razvedka. So these guys have Iglas as well. Great for killing those Gazelle rockets, for example. And a UAZ. So I think Felkos is really going to struggle against all that. Really going to struggle. On the right, we've got Krepp. He's bought 2 cars of supply. A Conkers going to this building. A Motus Jockey Metis going here. A Sturm S. So these have had their price go up a lot, but the Kokon's really fast now. Has been for a little while, and the pen went up as well, so it's quite speedy. It's not as... Well, it deals a lot more pen than a Rapira, and it's got the max range, 2,800 meters. 2 Osas, so Osas got their range increased. They now have the highest anti-helo range of anything in the game, at 3,175, but their price went up and their availability went down. So that is rough. And now you can't afford 2 in a minute, whereas I think before it was 135, so you still couldn't. BRM1 for recon and a T80 BVK for capping. And he's also got, smartly, is taking this. So my money's on red, so we'll cast from this perspective. Right, so they're off, and something else we missed here is that they've opened MiG-31 as well. So these Gazelle rockets are probably all going to die. You'll notice that they've not got that much anti-air at all. This is anti-helo, basically. The 2 Stingers, I suppose, can work a bit better at anti-air. Here we go, 3, wow! Okay, so the Harriers and everybody should really kill the Su-27. And now the problem is that this, although this is the one with 10 HP, that MiG-31 should not have dived that. Oh no, that, what? Really, really good micro from these guys. I completely failed to notice the fact that MORGG just didn't have that many units. I just thought, okay, inflation. And now these Harriers can start going for these MIAs. So I'm going to assume that these 2 are in a stack. We obviously know that these guys are in a stack. He's evat this, even though there's still a Razvedka there. The rocket ones I'm not such a big fan of. The problem they've got is that, okay, so these have 8 HP and that deals 7 HE, so they will survive 1 hit. So he's going to try and kill as much of the deployment as possible. Over here, the Paras Marine are in front of the Desatniki. The Harrier rockets are coming in now. You see that they don't really do a whole lot, but the Gazelle rockets are there as well. Harrier rocket takes out an Osa. Surprised he could see that, I guess because of the Gazelle rockets. It's got bad stealth, right? And he might lose a Harrier rocket there. It's very difficult to pay attention to everything. Looks like Helljumper's got the advantage here. But actually, the Harrier rockets are doing a lot more than I thought they would. And that's a second Osa gone down to Harrier rockets. Really good play from MORGG here. And xFelkos for sending out his own plane. So big air waves there. These Gazelle rockets need to be brought back. And MORGG should really press the advantage now. He's killed everything, but I guess he doesn't know about it. But yeah, over here, Felkos is having quite a tough time. He just didn't have as many units in the zone because he... well, I don't know why, actually, because he sent some here and here. Whereas his teammate... Oh, I guess because he bought the plane, but then so did his opponent. I don't know, I guess his commitment here was greater, and so his commitment here was less. Also, Paras SS are a really expensive unit to just have stuck in a bush. There's usually a cheaper, like you could have put a saggy recon here, although that's also really expensive. Could have put some sort of cheap recon, like the sec, get your friend to lend you a sec, put that in here, 40 points, and then your Paras SS can be in the big fight. So it's an expensive one. I was going to say I can hear a Nighthawk. You can hear him from really far away. But yeah, Felkos has managed to take mid, and that means MORGG is free to attack here, although he doesn't have good answers to this T-80 BVK, which I suppose is what he bought the Nighthawk for. So this guy's doing the standard I scout with my face tactic, and the Osa's all the way back here. Krepp hasn't bought any Cubs. Cubs can one-shot Harriers, so MORGG's going to take that zone, and Helljumper didn't open CV, so he's not got this point either. So Blue's actually on a +5, and... you know, they're doing really well for two guys I've never heard of. Obviously, Krepp and Helljumper played in the DEFCON tournaments, and they got really far. I can't remember who knocked them out in the end. I don't think it was me. Anyway, the Harrier waves, you know, they've done pretty decent. So these two evac'd first, if you recall, and so they're already back. The thing with the Cubs is that Cubs deal 9 damage, which means they one-shot Harriers because they've only got 8 HP. Helljumper, he's not capped this because he's bought a second one for it. That's a bit of a waste, but the enemy is on a +7, so I guess he deems it necessary. But I mean, you know, this one could be sent here, I suppose. Thing is, Krepp's in a pretty rough way. MORGG needs some supply. He needs to get some supply, get these supplied, and then he can, you know, start doing stuff. RAF Berlin, so these used to be called Berlin rifles, or just RAF or something, RAF rifles. Anyway, they got 12 men, but they're reservists, so they're quite expensive, but they're sort of like KDA. But they're disheartened, so they lose suppression really quickly. You see there that the destruction of the Bedford already put this guy on normal cohesion. It's something to note, actually, that you probably can't hear me over the sound of the Harriers. But, yeah, so Helljumper's taken this back. He's still receiving flanking fire. This Milan 2, which has actually been pinged, by the opponent, needs to be here. Because if it's here, none of these guys get in. So Felkos needs to notice that. And put it over here, and then he can shoot all this coming in, but I don't think he's noticed. Anyways, these big zones mean that Felkos can have stuff in over here. These Harriers are going too deep now. I think they're going to die to Osas. Oh no, this is what happens when you clump them up. They both got hit from one missile there. So yeah, 3 Harriers down, potentially 4. Yeah, big overextension on the Harriers, but this Jaguar's back up from before, so he's going to get a kill on that. And, yeah, Krepp's bought another CV tank, but I think by the time it gets there, these RAF Berlin will be in here. The Engineers Dragon really need to be moving up, and the Stingers as well. Don't forget the Stingers, because your enemy always brings a helicopter. I often forget the Stingers. So this guy is in range of that, because they both have the same range, or in fact, slightly less range on the Tarask. This is 1200 and this is 1250. And here comes the heli, and the Stingers have been moved up, so good play. Over here, Felkos, because of the size of the zone, can get this in here. What Red need to kill this is just some arty, but difficult to get that. This Milan 2, I really wish it was here. It would be shooting these BMD2s. It's not got much ammo though. Gazelle rockets have been resupplied, and they're going to take out the Metas. really good game. Lots of momentum, lots of things happening. Red's managed to slow the tick down to a +2. They're still in this. They just need to kill this, and then it'll be +0. For example, with this cluster plane. But that's going for what exactly? Okay, so Seed's out first against Berlin Command in 11 easy. So nothing can be seeded here. That Conqueror's got missed. I guess he's just using it to shoot helicopters, but he's going to get shot by Stingers. Artillery out for MORGG. This cluster, I guess it's just dropping on the infantry, and it might get a Stinger team there. Yeah, cluster deals limited damage to infantry, but not as much as HE, but that's only a 2-man team. Misses the Chieftain. Conquerors is now out of rounds, but he doesn't know about that, so he's sending this over here now. And it looks like Krepp's going to get back in here, because none of these guys... Oh, there are laws. But yeah, this Chieftain is already mediocre, and then it gets side shot with the last shot of that Conquerors and taken out. We did hear that Puma Het go down. There were some Desant Spetsrozvedka shooting at it. This Milan 2 is finally in a position to... Oh, I guess it can shoot there anyway. Here it would have a better sight line, but... Anyway, 3 Nonas purchased. Could go on the CV, but he's prioritising the Milan 2 because that's what's killing all his reinforcements. Always move your thing after it gets some kills, because you know what's going to happen. And yeah, these Desant Spetsrozvedka, man, they're very, very good. 60% accuracy. Because of that high veterancy. So this Milan 2 is probably going to die eventually, but this is 3 Nonas, which is 300 points. Now, for less points, you can get 2 half-grads, which is way, way, way more useful. So I think that was a poor purchase from Helljumper. Over here, MORGG's doing a great job clinging on to this, and the Nighthawk takes out the next CV tank. So the real question is, where are the Cubs? Where are the Cubs? Because the Cubs would kill this as well, whereas the Osas, they just don't have the range. I think he might have gone for 2 cards of Osas, because he's lost... Has he lost 2 or 3? Anyway, the Nonas are going to start shooting this, but a half-grad would just kill it straight away. So I lament the fact that he's gone for the Nonas instead of the half-grads. So these... A bit of an overextension there from MORGG, but he's bought another Tarask, and that Mi-24 VP's got to watch out. Although it didn't seem to take any damage there. It's difficult to pay attention to everything. The Nonas are still going on the P4 PC, but because of... So they've got corrected shot from this guy, which means that the radius of shot is really low. Damn, that was not fantastic. You see, these guys did get in there because that Milan team missed. And there you go, M109, still suppressing the enemy AA. Really smart play from MORGG, just constantly going for those Osas. And this is probably going to survive because of the LOS. There you go, Cubs finally purchased. So he needs to get some Cubs in the middle. Obviously he's lost this, but here can work, because then he's covering his mate as well. Or he could even get him... Well, I guess he can't really put him here because the enemy's got this. So that Mi-24 VP is just killing all the AA, which is quite funny. The Tarask went down, and yeah, MORGG's got to sort this out, because Krepp can definitely get back in there. This Milan 2 could hopefully be moved up to this building, start getting some kills. And the Nonas are just missing because they're not the half-grads. So, you know, many such cases, etc, etc. Some Strells have been purchased here, so I don't think the Harriers are going to be so useful anymore. They could work on these units back here. But eventually the enemy's just going to buy too much AA for your Harriers to be useful. But they got a lot of values out of that... Value out of that early airplay. This guy does not smoke and will probably... Oh, no, he survives. And, yeah, it's up to... Well, yeah, I was going to say Felkos does get 105s, but they're not great. So he's got some 105... Because he needs to start hitting these positions. Typically, you'd want the heavy howitzers to be doing that. Which are currently shooting an Igloo. Which is actually a good thing to shoot, because it can die. But you see the way the RNG works in this game. Either it lands right next to you and does nothing, or it direct impacts you and kills you, so... Because he's moving there, just didn't get the shots. Also, I don't think he's got corrected shot, because there's no recon up here. But yeah, typically you'd want these to be killing the town, but... you know, he's got his own problems, basically. He needs to hit these targets, stop him from building up. He really needs to sort this out, but I don't think he actually knows about it. So Krepp still trying to get back in there. Spetsnaz grew in here now, and they have an SVD, but so do the Paras Marine. The really funny thing is that the Paras Marine can't see them, even though they're shooting at them, and even though they saw them walk into the building. And that's because Recon infantry has exceptional stuff. There we go. They can now see them. The Gazelle rockets are going down. He could bring some up here and kill that Spetsnaz Gru. I believe that CV finally went down. No, he sent it over here now because he's managed to get back in here. So Helljumper should have secured this a bit better. I know he had a unit there, but I looked away and now it's not there anymore. So he gets the CV in on that side. And the cluster plane's back going for that minstrel. Bit of an overkill, but it doesn't matter too much. And, okay, yeah, so he's going for the buildings, which is intelligent. The problem with the Nonas is they only carry 18 rounds, and they have a salvo length of 6, which is really, really, really high. Like, keep in mind these only have... Oh, this is also 6. I didn't realize it was so high on all the 105s. But this is 120, which has very similar stats in terms of like aim time, etc. So basically they run out in 3 volleys, so you got to be careful. And the supply cost is not insignificant. Like this won't actually be able to supply all 3 of those because it's 360 times 3, and this only carries 600. So I assume Krepp owns 2 of these now because we've seen 2. The AMX-30s, they're very fast, so as long as he's got to move this one now as well. Okay. Basically because he was driving... Oh no, and then the bombs don't all fall at the same speed, so you got to watch out. That BMP-2 can kill all of these if it gets into a good position. And yeah, Helljumper's managed to get a CV on that side, so the tick stops now, but Helljumper sending stuff over here means that xFelkos could get back in here. So really, it's kind of useful to try and take this, because once you take this, you could get to here, and if you get an ATGM there, then you cut all this, which is quite useful, and you can also get a recon to here, recon around here, and then you can see things. Very, very useful. But yeah, xFelkos is really going to struggle in the open against 76Y, which gets the BMD 2s and 3s, whereas 11 Easy gets very, very expensive so-called tanks. That CV's probably going to die now. He's not moving it. I don't think he's noticed yet. But yeah, imagine if he had the half-grads, which would be cheaper than 3 Nonas. I think I might have said that. Oh, it looks like he's going to survive that, but then the LGBT might see him. He couldn't align in time because he was too far over it. So I guess he could see that because of this. So this really needs to go hide in here instead of just sitting in the open there. So I'm pretty sure he can still see it. And yeah, xFelkos is just struggling against the BMD2s. Certainly the VDV Airborne divisions are just stronger in the open. These RAF Berlins unloaded a bit early. He could have got a bit closer, but I guess he doesn't know what's in here and he doesn't want to lose them. But yeah, he needs to get these in here now. B team should kill the descent commander, but he's got a smoke grenade. And he's also got an Igler, so this can't help out too much. Only 2 Gazelle rockets left. You really got to try and keep him alive. And yeah, you can see it, so that's probably going to die now. Does he have a backup one on the way? He does. Very, very smart. Very smart. And I've noticed these guns have fallen silent. You also don't want them right next to each other because then they can both get blown up by 1 artillery shell. But look, you can see how not great the Nona is. Lands right next to you and just doesn't... It literally has 4 HP. So it's kind of dumb. Seed against 76Y is not sensible. They're probably going to die. Okay. I mean, it's got 40% ECM. But it flew right over those. And they're next to a CB, so they're up there, so they've got 60% accuracy. New Pork, did it drop? It did not. He doesn't have targets. He's going for that Conkers. Okay. And you see the Cub can't see him. Oh, he's going for the CV. Okay. That's sensible. But he didn't really have to. He could have put the PCB here and he would have died anyway. Although this guy only has MP5, so maybe it does make sense. And yeah, I was thinking he would go for the tank, because he's really going to struggle to kill those tanks. And yeah, Krepp's buying 152s instead of MLRS. It's really strange. I mean, look how clumped up this is. Just MLRS this, they all die. They all die. Balding MiG flies over the enemy, but there's 2 Stingers and they're over here. There's none here yet. I say yet, I assume he will put some there. I haven't seen this game. LGB2's coming out on this side, and there's no Stingers and stuff. 1 Minstrel. Like, you need some Minstrels, really, in this push. So he thinks it's in there. It's just behind it, and you're about to see the power of the CAB 1500. It's going to make a really big bang. And It's so stupid. Yeah, they really need to fix that. Like, explosions should do damage in a wide area. Like, it should do less and less damage the further you get away, but it shouldn't just be everything or nothing. Like, look at this. Two little cars being hit by 105s on this flat field and just nothing. What? That one landed right on it. Oh, man. So, Krepp's forced to withdraw there because the M109s are... M109 Singular is shooting his position. And here we go, another infantry push, backed up by some tanks now. Could use, I was going to say, get some ATGMs in here, cut that reinforce. And this guy should be moved up to here. And then what you do is you get one of these RAF Berlins and you get him into here. And then you move it all the way around, you start blowing stuff up on this road. Or you send it all the way back here, get in that building. Really, really good, really powerful. This is why you shouldn't clump your guys up too much. Although this man doesn't take too much damage. I do think he needs more AA though. I guess he's relying on fighters from Felkos, but he's got his own problems. 76Y I certainly think is better than 11 easy. And yeah, there's a case to be made for switching off the guns on your assault on your Iglas, the assault rifles on your Iglas, because now he's shooting, which is revealing his position. Otherwise, he's got exceptional stealth; they wouldn't be able to see him. It's worth noting though that I want to watch this thermobaric explosion. It's probably going to get 3 there. Oh, it did get 3, even though this only says 2. But he loses it, and that's a very expensive aircraft. Problem is, Felkos evac the wrong way. He should have come over here and then pressed evac. You can right-click and then do Shift-V and it'll evac. But yeah, it's currently a quote-unquote stalemate, but there you go, another +2 for blue team. It looks like blue team have the advantage here. Yeah, so another thing you can do is get the Sonderwagen, press F, and then press on the Chieftain MK10, and then now your Chieftain MK10 has optics on it, because like you can't, it seems that he's struggling to see, although he is behind a rock. But yeah, I think... Okay, so Krepp has now bought the Grad after firing 2 152s, which I think was a mistake, and I think these Nonas were a mistake. The Grad should have come out a lot earlier. A lot earlier. Okay, so double trouble here. We've got some clusters. You can see them because of the Paris SS. There should really be a Milan in this building. And he'll probably get both of those. Oh, he gets one. Jaguar AT is being pulled across there. And this is why you need your Cubs in the middle. Although he did get that. If the Cubs were in the middle, he'd also be... Because look at the range on that. If that was over here, he'd be protecting up to here of his teammate. But instead he's hidden it in a corner. And then it just got smacked by this thing. Yeah, this is a Paladin, right? Oh, the upgrade is called the Paladin, but which is out of time frame, but I just call it the Paladin because the historical accuracy guys in charge of this game are on like a mission to make everything as unpronounceable as possible. So this isn't so bad, these divs, but you look at some of that East German stuff. Oh man, you wonder why. Anyways, the manpads are starting to get somewhere now. Helljumper, he's managing to hold this, although these are not big squads. This is probably going to die now. It's worth dying for that. I mean, it's worth dying to kill that. And that was, I believe, the second one that we saw die? And we finally see the LGBT out for 11E. This is like one of the most expensive planes in the game. Looks like he messed up there. Needed to right-click and then hit evac. If you right-click and then immediately turn away manually... Okay, so he's only lost one so far. This is the second. Then it misses like that. The alternative is to right-click and then when it's... Or press T, and then when it's in its terminal arc, then you turn away and then it can't lose, you know. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say here. But yeah, just get some more minstrels, man. They're really good. Like, there are some here, but they need to be up here because they don't have much range. Like, this could be all the way over there. You need to probe this as well. But yeah... MORGG and Felkos doing very well for themselves here. MORGG's managed to hold this basically the whole game. And, you know, the Grads are out now, but it's been 20 minutes. So they should have been out, like, by minute 5, literally. Here we go. We got some arty now. Got some AA now. And, yeah, Felkos has spotted some good targets here. He's going for Iglas, yeah. Makes sense. And yeah, you see the grads would be useful when your enemy was just here, but when he's in the entire zone, it becomes less and less useful. He should unload all these in the open now. Oh no, he's going for the RT. But you see, thermobaric is very rubbish. But that last bomb there got one. This evac'd because I guess he assumed this would be a problem, but it wasn't. Another thing that should be happening is there should always be a MiG-31 back here, always, just going from left to right to left to right, so that when the enemy comes out, you can just sling a couple missiles at him. It also helps you see the Nighthawk. So here we go, second grad purchased. The 2 grads are out, but I think it's a bit late in the day. There's only 5 minutes till the game ends. So Seed being sent out again against 2 guys who don't have any radar AA in the whole arsenal, but obviously he probably didn't know who he was against before he came in. And it is good to send it out with another plane. Just to soak rounds because it's got 60% ECM. But yeah, imagine if he'd had the half grads. Schmel comes out. He'll probably die to Minstrels pretty fast. Yep, down it goes. Minstrels are the best manpad in the game. In real life, they always come on a tripod like the Javelin LML, because it's actually really, really, really heavy. But in this game, it's just a Super Stinger, because Warno is a game made in France. It's also worth talking about the fact that in real life, the Milan 2 has about half the range of a Conqueror's, whereas in this, it's basically the same. Krepp's done well with these cluster planes. They've got a lot of kills. But yeah, there is now so much AA here. And you see, Berlincom also gets the Minstrels. Yeah. I'm not sure what to say. I think Helljumper could have put a couple forward deployed units here at the start to help out his friend. But they overextended with their air into all those Harriers, and they didn't open Cubs. I mean, opening Osas can make sense, but it's like a know your enemy thing. You know he's going to have loads of Harriers, so you should be opening with a Cub or 2. So that gets hit twice, but these only deal 4 damage, whereas these deal 5. And it has 10 HP, so 2 of these would kill a plane, whereas 2 of these don't. Which is why they're literally cheaper. 25 points cheaper. I was going to say half the price, but not quite. And, yeah. Red are just bleeding out here. Like, Helljumper's trying to kill this CV so that he can stop the tick, I guess. These Strellas haven't been supplied in ages, and this has been back here the whole time. So that's really bad playing. He could have got a load of planes. There's so many planes flying around here. These have been out of supply for absolutely ages. Newport going deep there, gets another T-80 BB, and some good counter battery there. There you go, it finally goes down. Went too deep. That was a bit silly, actually. He'd have been better placed using it here to help his teammate. Oh no, they're reinforcing failure. This one should die, really. It's got very high ECM, though, unlike the Nighthawk. Alright, so he just needs to evac that now, but he's sending it back around, which I don't agree with at all. And the Seed is not with it. It's probably going to lose this now. Although that's out of ammo. So it's only the Igler, which does hit it, but only deals 4 damage. So that shouldn't have been out of ammo, really. There should have been 3 Cubs on the field over here. Or you even get 4 in a card now, in the middle of the map. Because it's self-propelled, you shouldn't really be losing it to counter battery. So yeah, the planes now are just useless against this fully operational Minstrel death stack. Although they're not moving, so you can take these out with RT. Really what Krepp needs to do is hit a grad here, and then go in with all these BMP2s. That's his last chance. He's only got 2 minutes. Like, the grads are not reloaded, though. They're not. I don't think they're going to reload in time. And he's not got a CV on the way, so it's not looking great. And yeah, Felkos is doing a great job of just holding half the zone. I appreciate that he wants to push, but he doesn't really have to. He's killing all these planes, and here comes his big push now. These Strellas have finally been resupplied. Imagine if it had been like that before. Actually, this one's 3-vet now. So the thing with the Saggies is you should really be sending one around to here. They've got mediocre optics, which is decent. And, I smoked the wrong one. And, you know, use that mobility. They're really fast. Get one over to here. Try and get it to here so that you can shoot, you know, try and get it to here so you can shoot the reinforcements coming in. Because they're just not good as frontline tanks because they've got 2 armor, right? And it costs more than this one, which has 9, right? So LGB2's out. Lots of planes dying here now. As the game goes on, you know, there's just more and more AA. You can't really kill it as fast as they can buy it. And this LGBT is probably going to die now because of the minstrels. Wow, I guess very lucky. I guess very lucky there. But I don't think he's going to have a chance to use it again because of the... really needs to deal with these Strellas. And Helljumper really needs to keep them supplied, which he's bought another supply for it. But no, what could have happened is Helljumper could have just held the town because that's nice and easy, and then sent a bunch of units over here to help Krepp and come in from the side. But then he risks losing the town, right? And here we go, some grads. But he's gradded the wrong place. He needs to grad where he's trying to go. You know, he needs to clear this out. But I think it's a bit late. I think it's a bit late. Don't think he can do anything now. And the he just, every time these tanks come out, they just get focused. So 30 pen missile cannot one-shot T-80 BV. Interesting. I believe it can one-shot or Challenger Mark 1 though, which has 16 front armor maybe? Or am I just wrong? It might be because of the ERA trait giving it 11 HP. I don't know. Yeah. GG to blue team, beating known players, beating players that people have heard of. So this is MORGG, rank 96, decent, 800 games. This is me, I beat everybody. Helljumper is rank 38 with a lot of games. He literally just plays NATO in ranked though, so that explains his lack of PACT knowledge, I suppose. And Krepp, who plays a bit of both. These guys have loads of games, 800, 2,200. MORGG had about 800, and I think his teammate's probably similar, but it just comes up with me. If you like these videos, I forgot to thank the generous channel joiners, generously bankrolling the channel. They get the names on the screen, they get the videos up to a week early, they get members exclusive videos. You know, if you want to help out the channel, please just like the videos if you don't want to pay money. They also get early access to HARRIERS Hero, my game, when it comes out in 2025. Anyways, I'll see you around.